Cold listeners, thank you so much for coming along with me on this reporting journey as I dug into Cherie Warren's story. Whether you are a returning listener from previous seasons or just tuned in for this case, thank you for listening. I really hope you appreciated it. If you did, there's another podcast you should check out that digs into true crime news and analyzes the minds of suspects. It's called Killer Psyche. When a shocking crime occurs, people ask, why? Was it about power, ego, or revenge? On the podcast Killer Psyche, host Candice DeLong unravels the thoughts, behaviors, and motivations of the most violent figures in history. Drawing on her decades of experience as an FBI agent and criminal profiler, she reveals fascinating details about what drove these people to commit such horrifying acts, including cases she was close to, like the Unabomber and BTK. Candice also reveals some profiling techniques that experts use to understand the deepest part of the most complex, fascinating, and twisted minds. I'm about to play a preview of Killer Psyche. While you're listening, follow Killer Psyche wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, Prime members, you can listen ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today.
1980 started out as a great year for actress Teresa Saldana. She co-starred in two of the year's biggest films, the crime drama Defiance and Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull. Her career was taking off, and people were beginning to take notice of the young actress. Unfortunately, one of those people was a Scottish drifter named Arthur Jackson. He became so obsessed with Teresa that he hired a private investigator to obtain her home address. But the investigator was only able to get Teresa's mother's unpublished phone number. Arthur then called Teresa's mother, pretending to be Scorsese's assistant, and claimed he needed her daughter's home address to send her a script. Unfortunately, thinking she was being helpful, her mother complied. Teresa left her home in West Hollywood on March 15, 1982. Unbeknownst to her, Arthur Jackson was waiting for her. In broad daylight, he stabbed her 10 times before a delivery man came to her rescue. Luckily, she survived. The harrowing attack was all over the news. It was a cautionary tale, but her story felt like an isolated, albeit tragic, occurrence at the time. For a young man named Robert Bardo, the Teresa Saldana story served as an education of sorts. He learned that it was possible to track down his celebrity crush. And he did so by hiring a private investigator to find her. In 1989, 7 years after the attack on Teresa Saldana, Robert Bardo used those lessons to stalk a young actress named Rebecca Schaeffer and kill her. My Sister Sam was canceled in 1988, but Rebecca Schaeffer's star was on the rise. She appeared in several movies, including the 1989 comedy Scenes from the Class Struggle in Beverly Hills, in which she played the daughter of a recently widowed sitcom queen. In the film, she had an intimate scene with her male co-star. This infuriated Robert, who believed she was no longer the sweet, innocent girl that he loved. Robert decided he needed to speak with her, so he paid a private investigator $250 to find out where Rebecca lived. The investigator then paid $10 to the Department of Motor Vehicles and got the actress's home address in Los Angeles. Robert tried to buy a gun, but the gun shop owner would not sell it to him because he believed the man seeking a gun was mentally ill. So, Robert asked his brother to buy him a gun. He claimed it was for target practice. Now, armed with Rebecca's address and a gun, he did one more thing before heading back to Los Angeles from Tucson. He wrote a letter to his sister in Tennessee stating that, quote, "I have an obsession with the unobtainable, and I have to eliminate something that I cannot obtain." Then he got on a bus heading west. At 6 a.m. on July 18, 1989, Robert walked up and down Rebecca's street, showing his autographed picture of her to anyone he passed. Although he knew her address, he questioned anyone who walked past him if they had seen her. Meanwhile, Rebecca was getting ready for the audition of a lifetime. She had a meeting with director Francis Ford Coppola for the role of the daughter in The Godfather Part 3. The script was to be delivered that morning, and the audition was that same afternoon. The intercom at her building was broken, so she was listening for the door. At 9 a.m., Robert rang the buzzer for her apartment, and Rebecca came to the door. Thinking Robert was the messenger with the script, she opened the door. Finally, Robert was face to face with the object of his obsession.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Killer Psyche ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today.